This is season 5, episode 212.
200. Okay, you did it right this time.
212. My name is Brian Bacchus. We have guests on today, so I will do like what my mama used to say, and grown folks need to stay in grown folks' business. I'm kidding.
I'm Jamal Smith. I'm going to do the same. Enjoy the show today. We'll be back on later.
Did we lose audio?
So good morning, everyone. As you know, I am Toni of the Toni Talks segment of the Altadena Talks podcast. And today I am bringing to you Genesis Builders. I have Devon Shaw and Rebecca Zendowskis, right?
You got it. Yeah,
okay, right. I want to make sure I always pronounce people's names correctly.
Thank you.
So super excited to have you all here because
Toni,
yes.
I lost audio. I can't hear you guys.
Oh, you cannot?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I can hear
said
you
to
fine,
leave and
but-
come back.
Yeah, I was going to say pop off and come back in.
We got me and you now.
Yeah, and you'll pop back in a minute.
Yeah.
So one of the things that, like, when I met you, what has it been, 2 months maybe or something?
Yeah, it's been a little while. We met at the church.
Right, down in where Brian.
And then we met again.
Okay,
Yep.
let's see.
There
And
we
then
go.
we also saw each other at the annual block party.
Yes, definitely, because you guys had a booth there. So, but I'm super excited to bring you all in because one of the things that impressed me about Genesis Builders was you all have this catalog. Like we know the Altadena Collective has one and Foothill Catalog has one. And I just have to say me personally, if people had a James Cottage and they want a James Cottage, perfect. Altadena Collective has that, right?
Right.
Foothill Catalog, those houses are ugly. Just in my opinion. That's me personally. I looked at them all. Yes, they're like, and you cannot customize them. And so I even asked them, like, what if I want a window in a different place or a door? They were like, nope. So me personally, I would not be doing Foothill Catalog just because of that. But people can take a look at stuff and do what they want, right? According to their budget, according to, whatever. If it's something
Their
similar
needs, their aesthetics, all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. But one thing I liked about Genesis Builders was you gave me, Rebecca, the catalog at the block party. You gave me the folder.
Right.
And I was even driving home looking at it like, oh, wow. Oh, really? I was looking at it like that because you all, let me see if this is it right here. My desk is, my desk is a little bit of a mess, but I have it right here. And when I was looking through, I was like, oh, they actually have several like residences that you could have different styles, but they fit our eclectic Altadena. Because one thing that I've been saying from the beginning is we should not have developers come in and say, oh, we're going to have a master plan community, because Altadena has never been a master plan community. And all of our houses look different. We can have a mid-century modern here, a Spanish tile here, a craftsman here, or something super quirky that you don't even have a name for, right? And so people are wanting to build that back because those of us that have been here a very, very long time, we want Altadena to be the same. We don't want it to change. We don't want it to become a big city, right? With sidewalks and extra taxes and all this stuff. So one important facet of that is obviously the homes. So tell me, Rebecca and Devon, I know you're a principal. I'm going to let each of you have as long as you need to, but tell me about yourself. Tell me about your role at Genesis, how Genesis Builders came to be, and then how you are in Altadena serving Altadenians in the rebuild.
Great.
And I'll do ladies first. So
yes,
Rebecca.
exactly. I was just about to say that. Thank you. Rebecca?
Uh-oh, is she frozen?
So I will take that.
Oh, there she is.
I will take that first. No, I'm not. I can hear you guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're freezing for some reason.
You're freezing.
Yeah. You're good now.
Oh, no.
You're
Okay,
good now.
well, Devon, if you guys can hear me. Oh, you can? Okay, good. Okay, perfect. I was just going to say real briefly about myself. I lost my home in the fire as well. I lived behind the original Webster's on Marchetta. I have been fortunate enough to work with builders and community management for my whole life. So I kind of already know a little bit about this, and what I do know, I want to share with the community and help the community so that they can rebuild with the right knowledge, because not everybody wasn't planning on building. And I help with the operations end of Genesis, where I communicate what we are to the community and see if we're the right fit for them. And we help them with everything. I go to all the meetings that we have, the town council meetings. I go to the meetings for SCE. I go to just to share the knowledge with people about what's going on in Altadena. Any volunteer work we can do, we do. I just want to be a part of the community and get Genesis out there so we can help rebuild, but also just the knowledge that we have as builders to share with everybody. So that's my role here. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, because as many times as we've run into each other or met or talked, I didn't know you were an Altadenian. I didn't know you lost your house.
Yeah.
And that you were on Marchetta behind.
Yeah, this is very...
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, this is very, very dear to my heart, to make sure our community gets back on its feet the right way. And yeah, I'm very blessed to be a part of it in that way. And I realize how much more I love my community than I already did, just because all the people I've met and all the things that I've done since this has happened, it's the shining star I can take out of the, horribleness we're all going through. That's the best part of it, is I get to meet people like you. I get to meet neighbors. I get to be an even bigger part of something I already loved. So I got to take it away like that. I got to take the positivity when I can, and know that this whole rebuild is also me reuniting with my neighbors. So
that's awesome. Thank you. Devon, can you tell me, I know earlier I asked you and you gave me the correct pronunciation of your name, because to me that is very important. Just in society as a whole, when we mislabel or incorrectly pronounce people's names, I think it's very disrespectful. So when you came on, I said Devang Shah, and then later I said it again, and you said it's Devon. So thank you. Like, seriously, I'm a stickler for that. I believe in seeing people, hearing people, respecting people. And so I'm glad that you corrected me. But you mentioned, I said, what is your role? And you said a principal. So tell us a little bit about what you do. What does it mean for you to be a principal at Genesis Builders? How long you've been involved, and how you are, again, coming into Altadena and serving, and what your connection is, if you already had a connection there, and what you're doing to help us rebuild our community.
Yeah, great. That's a lot of questions, but I'll start with I've been in real estate for 27 years, so straight out of college, since 98. And, I love real estate. I love everything about it. I've had quite a interesting career in that I've been on the development side, the investment side, the consulting side. I was independent for 7 years, helping, reimagine communities, reimagine properties, develop new properties. And so in my DNA is this desire to create, right? And part of that desire comes from, understanding where you are, what you're developing in that community, right? Relative to the community, acknowledging the history of the community, acknowledging the aesthetic of the community, and fitting, not standing out like a sore thumb. That's been in my DNA that I've done since I've come to, since I started my career in real estate. More specifically, for many years, I would say for the last 15 years, I was involved primarily on the multifamily, building large apartment communities in California, Denver, and numerous other parts of the Western U.S., including acquisitions of it, which was great, and I was excited to do it. But even prior to that, in my prior career, I was involved in building homes and getting people into home ownership, and that was a very satisfying feeling to see families move into a new home, because it's not just a home. It's their future, it's their lives, it's their memories. And frankly, it's also their equity. It's how you create equity and create wealth in this country. And so, I missed that for many years. And this year I turned 50. And I look back at my career and I said, I've had a great career and I enjoy it. I'm on the back half of it. I look back and say, what have I accomplished? And I have accomplished a lot. But, after the fires, we thought of this idea that we should, like, building homes is difficult. And when people are planning to build a home, they take a year to 2 years to plan for it, financially, emotionally. They plan, they design things. Here is an entire community got wiped out. And a lot of people have no idea where to start. And just the stress of thinking about it, look, if we're going to contribute to rebuilding, a big part of LA, and we were one of the largest developers in LA for years, we've got to find a way to do something that's more meaningful and that can reduce the stress, still give people the flexibility. And so to me, this is very personal because it's a culmination of my career. And whether, I don't know if it's weird or what, but my 50th birthday was January 7th. This is one of the days the fire started. So for me personally, I feel like this is I found a purpose in my career, and I feel more galvanized about this than anything I've done that I can even remember.
Well, thank you. I don't believe in happenstance or coincidences. I believe that God allows things to happen for whatever reason, and sometimes it is to thrust you into purpose, like the three of us on this podcast. But the fact that that was your 50th, and happy 50th.
Thank you.
I just had my 60th last week. So
my goodness, you do not look 60.
1975, baby. I'm a 1965 baby.
I love it.
It's something when you have something that somebody could say, oh, it's a coincidence or whatever, like the fire of a lifetime for Altadena, right? Happened, and you happen to be in building. So maybe it was allowed so you could be part of it. One of the things that I do want to talk about with you all is affordability, because I don't know how much you know about Altadena. You've probably learned a lot since the fires, but a large portion of Altadena, 57% of Altadena, is over the age of 60. There are people that have been there. Like, my parents bought the house that I grew up in 1968 when I was 2.5. And a couple months before my brother was born, like June of 68, right? And so now my parents at 88 and 83 are displaced. A friend of mine, Judy, we had an event the other day and she did my makeup, and I was talking about, okay, Judy, where you were living was, is gone, where your parents were living, where this and that. And she said, there were, and I didn't know this until Tuesday, there were 11 families, 11 homes in her family, her parents, her brother, different people that were lost. I knew of the Williams family and their mom and their daughters who lost, 4 homes. I knew of the Betts who lost 9. I knew of the Benns who lost 20, but I didn't know, like, the Washington, that family had lost 11. And it was just bananas to me. My family lost 2, right? And so there's a lot of generational homes that are now gone. And a large portion of the African-American homeowners and or renters that are now displaced. Some that have already begun their rebuild, some that are like, I'm going to sell, and some that are like, oh, I got to figure it out, right? That are like, we own our land still, we're working through the insurance stuff, and we're trying to figure it out, right?
Right.
And so one of the things I do like about Genesis and the catalog, and I'll have Jamal bring that up in a few minutes, but is that you all have different residences with different models within those residences, right? You have residence 1, but then there are options of the models, like 4. Not yet, Jamal. Not yet.
Architectural styles, correct.
And right, thank you. And then there's residence 2, and there are different architectural styles from smaller square footage to larger square footage. Residence 3, 4, all the way down, right? And then you have ADUs as options. You have 6 different residences with 4 architectural styles within each residence. And then you've got a freestanding ADU, a upper ADU, like above a garage or a home. And then you have all of the Chapter 7 and IBHS compliancy, which is great because that's all of the hardening, the fire resistance designing. You have a 1-bedroom ADU. And then on top of it, and we will go through this in a minute, I'll let you all walk us through all of this. You have the general home features, the interior, the exterior, but everything also is an all-inclusive price. Right. And not only in your brochure, your booklet, but on your website, it's there and it's straight. Like this particular house, right? And I'm not going to say right now because we'll walk through them, but when you look at square footage from 1250, for residence 1, 1500 for residence 2, residence 3 is like 1750. These prices are incredible because so many people have been heard that they'll be gouged and it'll be, well, I say gouged, 450, 5, 6, 8, 1,000. Right. But you all are right in that reasonable $350 a square foot, 370, 380. I haven't seen any of them above 400 a square foot, even for residents. Let me see, which one is that? 6, which is a 2,200 square foot house. No, there's some that are 2,700. And you have one on here.
2,200 is our biggest home.
2,200. I'm sorry. I was looking at garage square footage and then the total. But it's like $300 a square foot, right? So let's talk about that because affordability is a real issue, especially in Altadena. I had somebody text me yesterday, a residence on West Palm that I believe somebody purchased the lot and now they have a design and they're already selling it on Zillow for $1,995,000 on the west side. So this is like an $11,785 a month note, right? That doesn't fit Altadena. People are not going to be able to buy something, and this is on the west side. Now, granted, the people that keep their lots and rebuild, when they rebuild, because it's new construction, fire resistance, the home hardening, all that. Right. If your house was already worth 1.9, it's easily going to be 2.5 or more, right? But to put this out there already on Zillow, it's 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,000 square foot on West Palm. Doesn't even fit the neighborhood and what was there before. So that's a huge issue. People thinking about non-affordability and gentrification and all that kind of stuff. So let's go over some of what your thoughts are as to why you guys have kept it at an affordable rate. And let's start to walk through some of these residences so people can see them.
Yeah. So it really starts from when we created Genesis, it was with the idea that we want people to build and not sell, right? And we want it to be approachable in terms of its cost, right? Not just the simplicity, the flexibility, but also approachability, right? And in some ways, we want to help set the market and tell the market, this is what homes should cost.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be charging people $700 a foot, $800 a foot, right? And so it's a twofold plan. One is to provide transparency, which I think is important. And 2, it's also letting the market know we're not about, change orders and trying to squeeze every dollar out of it. We're really here trying to build a community because frankly, whether we build 50, 100, 150 a year, that's still a drop in the bucket. We need other builders.
Absolutely.
To participate and to not take advantage of people, and by the way, there are many builders that don't do that. And,
correct.
I don't want to say that everyone's like that, but, the industry can be fraught with unscrupulous people. And so, what we did was we leveraged our background or commercial background. We joint ventured with a home builder called Montage and CityView, which is what created Genesis. And we've been developing here in Southern California for the last 20 to 28 years. And we leverage our relationships with the subcontractors and the material providers so that we can do stuff on scale, right? And we can bring the cost down. So our entire effort started from, we need to bring costs down so people can rebuild.
Right.
We were never interested in buying the property, building it and selling it for that $300,000-$400,000 profit. That's never been our intention.
Right.
And so that's how we came up with kind of the pricing we did. Was we went to all our subs, said, look, we got to do this for Altadena. And by the way, since we've been working together for years, this is, give us your best pricing as if we were going to do, 100 a year. Right.
Yeah.
And so we got the benefit of that to then be able to share that with the Altadena and to be able to present the pricing we have. Now, look, there are pressures in the market. Material prices go up, tariffs have had an impact. And so, we're going to try to hold our pricing as best as we can, but those forces do have an impact on it. Nevertheless, it doesn't change our model, right? We're still always going to show our pricing. It's always going to be transparent. You'll know what you can get. And then if you decide, hey, I want to do, a Carrera marble on my countertops, or I want something special, no problem. We can figure that out, right?
Yeah, but that becomes more customizable. And obviously, once it's customized, you are giving them already, boom, here it is, right? And then they say, oh, I want to change this, I want to change that. It may rise up costs. But if somebody looks in your catalog or meets with you all, goes through it and says, this is exactly what I want, right? Obviously, they get to choose their fixtures. So you might have gold in the catalog, they might want black, or vice versa, whatever. Right. But if it's basically what's here, and I say I want this 2,200 square foot home, my garage is this much, so 301 a square foot, and I sign a contract with you at 301 a square foot, regardless of market or whatever, you're not, other than me customizing, you're not going to jump up later and say, oh, sorry, we're now during your build, it's now going to be 375 a square foot, because that would be, I think, breach of the contract or whatever.
Well, exactly. So you bring up two very important points. One is what we do is a pre-construction period where we do the survey, the geotech, the environmental. We do all of that work, right? We get all those studies back. We review it. Now, there may be additional work that needs to be done on any one specific property, right? If you're a hillside property, there may be other conditions that you need to be aware of. There may be retaining walls. So that we can't really price into every home. But what we do is we say, look, let's say that home is $830,000. We have a $68,000 allowance for anything related to your site. It includes fencing, a little bit of basic landscaping in the front yard, grading, drainage. At least you have a bracket of what it's going to cost you. Now, maybe you've got a very large lot and there's some special conditions, so it's like that. It's not this. Right.
But you're still going to communicate that with the homeowner as you begin working with them. So
in fact, we won't even sign the contract until that scope of work is completed first.
Yeah.
We can tell them, okay, the house now costs $850,000 because we've got to do something special with your site. We've got to do some environmental remediation potentially. Right. So that's the price. And so at that point, the client can say, great, let's start. Sign the contract. We'll submit the home, which is already pre-approved through LA County, and get the permits. And then we're locked into it. So if material prices go up, that's on us. We'll eat it.
So that's good to know, as well, as far as which answered my question, but was that these are pre-approved. I forgot to say that in the beginning, because like Foothill Catalog, like those Altadena Collective, the James Cottages, these residences are already pre-approved, which simply means when someone signs a contract, they select the one that they want and you get ready to start, you submit for the permit. And I know for a fact that the president of the town council, Victoria Knapp, submitted like on a Thursday or Friday, and she went with, I believe, Foothill, and her permit was issued Monday because it was pre-approved. So with it being pre-approved, what is the benefit of that you can tell viewers versus customizing from the ground up and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real benefit. The pre-approved does two things. One is, the plan that you've selected has already been reviewed by the county. So what happens is sometimes, and everyone's different, you may hire an architect. The architect may or may not know what the county will allow or not allow, right? So you work on a beautiful design, you get excited about it, and then you submit it to the county, right? And the county's, well, you could do this, or you can't do that, or this, that, the other, right? And then all the changes start coming in, right?
Right.
And on top of that, you don't know what those changes, the financial impact of those changes are. The more the back and forth that happens, then you're looking at potentially 90 days to get a permit if you're starting fresh.
Yeah.
And along the way, this assumes your architect is working on your home and your home only, that they can turn around comments quickly, which can take a long time. Depending on what kind of contract you signed with the architect, now the architect may start charging you more because they weren't anticipating this many rounds of review from the county, right? From the various departments. So you skip all of that. You, in fact, don't even pay for architecture with Genesis. Because we've already paid for it. It's already done.
Right.
All our plans are 100% construction ready. And so you skip that entire process and time, and you get the benefit of it being pre-approved. So you expedite your permitting.
Okay, so I want to go to the residences because I have a question about a couple of them. Basically, like what I'm seeing, meaning, I see what they look like. I'm looking specifically like at residence 3, right? Because that's a single level. It's not 2 stories or whatever.
Right.
But I see all of them with the driveway on the left. But a lot of the houses in Altadena, it's opposite. The driveway is on the right. Right. And so, and we know that they did not take away driveways. And so the like for like, granted, the rooms and bathrooms don't have to be in the same place, but the like for like, it still has to be in that square footage. And in Altadena, there were a lot of garages that were not attached. They were detached, but I want to talk about that. Maybe we'll do this first and then talk about that, because I know some people are like, I don't want my garage detached anymore. I want to move it and make it attached, right? So I can just walk straight in the house. So let's talk a little bit about the residences. Jamal, if you could bring that up. And one of the questions I have, like, I'm seeing residence 2 is 1,500 square foot. Residence 3 is 1,750, but you don't have any in between. And there are a lot of houses in Altadena that were 1,580, 16, 1620, right? And the people want that same square footage. They want their same 4 bedrooms, 2 baths back or whatever. So what would you be able to do either to modify a residence 2 or a residence 3 to get them the square footage they want, or could you?
So I'm going to ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Why would you want like for like? What is the benefit of like for like? What do you understand?
Benefit of like for like is having the exact same square footage. Granted, it doesn't have to be, within, as long as it's in that footprint. And not me per se, but you might have an elderly person that wants the exact same layout, because if they're 80s or 90s, it's going to be confusing to them to have something outside of like for like. And I think I understand, Devon, what you're getting at. Because if my home was 1,500 or 1,550 and I can go up that extra 200 square feet, right? I could jump to residence 3 and have 1,750, right?
Correct.
Is that why you asked me that question?
So we're working with a lot of residents now. And I will tell you, only 2 of them are going like for like. And the 2 that are going like for like are unique in their circumstances. Everybody else is not. And it's not as though everyone's building the biggest home.
Correct.
They're moving up to the 1,750 or from 1,750 to going to 2,000 or what have you. The like for like, the real benefit for like that most people understand is twofold. It's A, they can build the home within the setbacks that they previously had. That's one benefit.
Right.
2, it will expedite processing for permitting. And 3, it has no tax impact, property tax impact. Correct.
And that's the biggest one. Number 3.
The like for like on taxes is not the same as like for county. So
No, it's
if
not.
you're 1 square foot more than your previous home, that 1 square foot will be taxed at the new tax rate.
Correct.
Every other square foot prior to that will be the same rate as it was, as you
Correct.
probably know very well.
Yeah, I brought the county assessor on June 12th, and I had
Great.
him break that down so that people knew the like for like and the additional 200 square footage has nothing to do with Prop 13 and taxes. It has to do with the permitting for houses under 2,000 square feet. So yes, I'm glad you brought that up, because anything over will be at a new rate. Because I even asked Assessor Prang on the show, I said, well, tell me this, when people get that new tax bill, the first one, right, when they have rebuilt, are you going to show, because right now there's a line item that shows the property value and a line item that shows your structure, right?
Right.
So I said, but people are going to have a different structure if they go up 50 square feet, 100, 200, whatever.
Right.
So are you going to have a third line item that shows this is the old square footage and this is what the tax is and this is the new? And he
Great
said,
question.
yeah, he said, we haven't even thought about that. Like in all our discussions in the office, nobody has brought that up. And I said, well, you might want to, because people are going to be like, okay, what's
that's
what?
that's a really smart question, Toni.
Yeah, I said, you need to show them this was your old tax base.
Absolutely.
This is now the new, and then this is what it is. Because even if it's 200 square feet and it adds, $100 a year or whatever it is, people need to know that. And he said, we might do that for at least the first year's bill. I said, that's fine, but people need to know. Then after that, they know that that's going to be the baked in, increase or whatever.
That's transparency.
So, yeah, exactly. And he was like, I got to be honest, nobody has thought about that or in our office or anything. So I said, well, check into it, because it's a coding issue that you just got to code in another line, right?
It behooves them to do it, because they will, at least that way, residents know.
Exactly.
As opposed to what was the basis of this taxes. And they're just going to get more calls and people screaming and yelling. It behooves them to be transparent, because it'll make their lives easier.
Yep. So I'm glad you brought that up, because again, on this show, we try to bring people on that are knowledgeable and that are going to have that transparency and be honest and say, look, this is what it is. And the fact that all the builders we've brought on, we've had 1 or 2 talk about taxes, but not much. But that you're saying it on this call is really good, because if somebody decides to go with you, then they'll be like, well, hold on, I need to make sure they know this or that. Because right now, people are on information overload, right?
Oh, yeah.
Since the fires. And now that they're getting into this phase of, I'm thinking I want to rebuild, let me go on and find a builder that can assist me. You want someone knowledgeable. So the fact that you're like, yeah, this is what it is. And you can say that to someone when they come to you. Here's the 1,500, here's the 1,750. You were in between, but even if you went 1 foot over, you're going to have a new tax base. You might as well go up to 250, right? Or 200, because if somebody's at 1,578 and they choose the 1,750, that's just under their 200, square feet. Right. So for that permit. So I'm glad that you asked that, because people might not think to ask that, but that's what I wanted to get. Why, right? You have 1 at 15, then it jumps to 1,750, then it jumps to the next one, which is another couple hundred square feet. And if somebody is thinking, I can't go with Genesis because I was at 1,600 and they don't have anything for me, right? Then you can say to them, this is
exactly. You can definitely look. There's also the other benefit for like is expedited processing and permitting. Well, we're pre-approved, so you get that anyway. Right? Whether you're going like for like or not. And then to answer your question about the driveway being on the left versus the right, that doesn't really matter. In our homes, we can put the driveway anywhere.
Well, you can flip the home. Design.
We can flip the home.
Okay,
so if you want the living room on this side,
you can flip the design.
Right.
Where that driveway, and it will look like that, but the door would be on the other side. The porch would be on the other side, because your driveway was that way. Okay.
Exactly.
That's what I needed you to say, or needed to hear.
Right.
So
but I do want to talk about attached versus detached garages.
Yes, that is next.
So the detached garage was a very specific design we pursued. one of our in-house architect, Stevens Wilson, who's not on the call, was a former Altadena resident. He grew up there. He was very instrumental in shaping the designs you see, right? Which is the detached garages, the craftsman, the bungalow style, the Spanish Mediterranean, right? It's in doing so, right? What we realize is Altadena was what it was because a lot of the homes address the street. You didn't drive down. It didn't look like suburbia because it wasn't garage after garage after garage, right? Anywhere Arizona or anywhere Phoenix, you go through a subdivision, you see garage after garage after garage.
Right.
It's actually cheaper to do an attached garage because a detached garage, you're making it look good on all sides versus an attached garage, you're not. You're just covering it on two sides, right? There are obvious benefits to an attached garage, so I don't want to discount that. But we were really trying to think about the curb appeal of not just the house, but then eventually the community. Because that's what made Altadena. And when you look at some of these older, cooler urban neighborhoods, they didn't have the attached garage, right? You'd see the home, the porches, the doors, and not the attached garage. And that was what we wanted to present. Now,
so wait, before we move forward, that's great because that's the character of Altadena, right? So many of our houses you drove up or drove, a lot are on hills and the attached garage is in the back. A lot of them are flat, but the attached garage. But what if someone now says, yeah, I had my attached garage, but now that I'm displaced, I'm in a place that has an attached and I can drive in, close the garage door and go directly in my house. Right. So when I rebuild, I actually want an attached garage, right? Because Altadena, it almost was like you didn't have a choice, right? You bought a house that was built in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It had a detached. Right. But now so many people are in places that have attached. Right. And they're like, I like this, right? And so if they come to you and say, yes, love this residence 5, right? Or whatever, but it has a separate detached garage, but I've been living somewhere that has an attached. I really want an attached garage. Can we do residence 2, but have an attached garage?
We can't.
You cannot because these are pre-approved.
They're pre-approved.
Okay.
And the other thing to keep in mind is we also studied the lot width of the community, right? A good portion of the community is 50 feet wide and less, right? More than half the community is 50 feet, the lot width, which presents challenges when you have an attached garage, right? So you have to maintain certain setback requirements. So the house can only be so wide. And then according to Altadena design guidelines set by Altadena and the county, the garage can't be more than X% of the front of the house.
But what if somebody doesn't want it in the front? Okay, so I'm gonna just give you a scenario. Here's the house. Here's the driveway.
They want it in the back.
Here's the attached garage. Right. All this is yard. Everything's burned down. My lot is cleared. They done took trees away, whatever. Right. So I have a clean slate. So I still want my house here where it was. Sure. But instead of my garage being back here, I want to go straight in from the street and I want to make a left turn
into the driveway, into the garage, and then
into the garage. So instead of the garage being back here, here's my house, attach it on the back where it faces this way, right? And I go directly in and then close it and walk in. And then now my yard that I had directly behind my house is over here where the garage is.
Sure, understand.
Is that something, obviously you guys can't do it because these are pre-approved, but if someone wanted to work with you separately and do that, is that something you could do?
We can't because, well, the best we can do is we can put the garage very close to the house, right? So we have scenarios where you come in from the back anyway, and so you pull into the garage, the house is right there, the garage is there, you come out and you go right into the house. So it's not that far, but you are going out and then in, right?
Right,
it's not exactly the scenario that you presented.
Okay.
So we don't have that. Now, there are other builders that are doing something. I don't know if they're doing quite that. They're doing more of the garages in the front. We are exploring an attached garage version to kind of really meet the 40-foot wide lot clientele because that is a small house, right? But it'll also help address the need for an attached garage. But that we haven't developed yet. It's in process.
Well, no, and that's why when I bring people on, I ask them all these extra questions, because there are these conversations, right, happening in the community, and people are like, well, I want this. And so the fact that you all have these residences pre-approved, right? If somebody wants to go back like they were with an detached garage, this is perfect. I would be like, you know what? Can I get a carport? Not a carport, but something that connects my garage to my house, almost like a tunnel, but not quite. So I don't have to walk out in the elements. I'm not a winter or cold weather girl. So I would, right? And that would maybe be something like, okay, I go with you all, you build my house in my garage, and then I'm gonna have somebody else do me some kind of connection so I don't have to be in the elements. But I'm glad you answered that, just because we want to ask these kind of questions in case somebody is watching and they want to know, right? And if they are like, no, I don't want an attached garage, I want just what I had detached in my house, then this is perfect scenario, because you all have it and it's already pre-approved. So that is great. Now, most of the garages I thought were like 400 square feet, but a lot of yours, or almost all of yours, are 528, which makes it a little bigger than a 2-car garage. It's like a 2-car garage plus extra over here.
It's a little bit deeper than a typical garage. So
Got it.
It allows for people to, store stuff. Or, some folks actually don't even use the garage. They park on the driveway and they use the garage for a shop or workshop or whatever it is, right? But
I like that because it has more square footage, because the majority of them were 400. So I saw
and then
that.
The ADU that sits above the garage, that garage is actually 670 square feet. That's even bigger.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, let's go to it, Jamal. I'm sorry. I know we were talking and you took it back down, but yeah, let's go to some of those and they can talk through them.
Yeah. So look, the way the website works, and this is all about the transparency, right? So let's say you're interested in the SoCal Traditional. So let's click on Residence 2 SoCal Traditional. There you could see there's the layout of the home. You see the price of that home at $713,800. You can flip through. That's kind of a rendering of the SoCal Traditional home in that specific Residence 2. Then let's go to exterior color scheme, which may not be activated yet. So we're working on actually doing the renderings of the 3 different color schemes each of the homes come in, right? Mm-hmm. Then you go to interior finishes. Currently, we have what's included in the price of the home, which is the Architect Collection. You can see your cabinets, your countertops, your fixtures. If you click through, you see your doors, your hardware, the flooring, all wood floors. You can see what the bathroom finishes are. If you keep clicking through, you'll see the 2 different bathrooms, the primary and secondary, other components of the home, the windows, and last but not least, all your appliances are included as well, right?
So that's really important, because you are including in your price, and this says right here for this particular residence, right? $713,800, and they get their microwave, their dishwasher, their refrigerator, their range, their all of that, washer and dryer. Now, are these appliances? These are all LG that I see, but do they have different choices if somebody wanted?
They will.
Gosh, or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a couple of different ways people can personalize it. We have a signature collection, a distinct collection. It's not activated yet. We're kind of finalizing the selections and the pricing of it.
Got it.
So that'll have a different, finishes. They can also pick if they like Thermador appliance or Miele. Well, there'll be some options for them to pick from. And then if they're like, look, I love the Architect, I just want to change my fridge and my range, we can change that too.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because someone might not want
the website's not going to be able to be that flexible, right? That's because it's very personal. So that will work with the homeowner.
That's where I come in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's
so
good.
Let's say, you're like, awesome. I love it. I love the garage. I'd love to get an ADU above my garage. So that's the second one. You click on that. So that adds the price of the ADU on the garage. So now the total home costs $912,700. and you get a 670 square foot garage with a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a washer dryer, full kitchen, living room, ADU as well.
That's really nice.
Right.
Mhm.
And
For
it's
someone
move-in ready. So that also will come with all the appliances.
And that's above the garage in the back, detached, but it's good for families, for multi-generational families, for caregiver situations. And it's all within Altadena community standards, because we know
Right.
garages were one height, but now if you put an ADU on top, that's a whole nother height issue.
Yeah, you're not doing like for like, but it's still below the height limitation,
Okay.
which is 30 feet. Right.
Right. Okay.
So it still meets those standards. You have to make sure that there is a 4-foot clearance around the property now. See, previously you could put the garage within your setbacks
Mm-hmm.
if it's just a garage. But now that you have an ADU, it's a residential area. The fire department needs to get access to all sides of it because there could be somebody in there in the
Right.
event of a fire. So it just changes where you situate it. You have to move it 4 feet away from the property line. But
Got it.
outside of that, you could still do it. The other thing a lot of our clients have considered, I would say half of our clients are actually doing ADUs, not just for, extended families, but also they're thinking of at some point they will want to live in the ADU and rent out the house. So there are financial kind of considerations as well. And then there's some that, they're happy with the house, but you can build the ADU since you're building your home at such a great price
Mm-hmm.
that you can actually rent out the ADU and make rental income and offset your mortgage.
Well, and
Yeah.
we have several clients that want to have an ADU as well that have talked about renting it out to other families in Altadena that were renters.
Yeah.
And they have nowhere to go now. So you can have the ADU and you can rent it to your Altadena native neighbors that might need to get back home into a rental. So it
Now-
helps the community too.
Now, this ADU over the garage is 800 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Okay, that's fine.
Mhm.
But, well, yeah, never mind. I just answered the question because I was going to say I thought ADUs could be up to 1,200 square feet, but obviously on top of a garage, that would not work. So you
Right.
would have a garage, and if you had enough space in your backyard, you could do the other ADU that's larger, that's up to 1,200 square feet.
We don't have it at 1,200 square feet in our catalog, in
Okay.
our offering. Our largest is about 800 square feet.
Okay, but that's still nice, the 2 bedrooms. So
Yeah.
Okay. Just asking. Just want to, as I hear you all say stuff, I'm like, okay, let me ask this. Because if somebody is watching and doesn't type it in, they may want to know that as well. So yeah. Okay, good.
And so, that's the end of it. And then, you can print out or save down all this information. We require you to give us your information, and then you'll get a PDF that has the catalog of the finishes. It has a floor plan of the home. It has all the home features. It's everything you see will come in a nice package for you.
So I just saw right now a question pop up. I just put it, and we have Nicole, is it Buells, I believe? And
Yeah.
she has said, are there any accessibility considerations for the second story ADU that you showed? So you have the garage,
Right.
you have the stairs going up with the ADU on top. Do you have anything that has a lift, a elevator?
We don't have
Okay.
anything at the moment. That's something you
Clueless.
would
Thank
have to do after the fact. But
Okay.
most of our clients who have, are thinking about aging in place,
Mm-hmm.
either will do a single story home, in which case we can make things ADA compliant. So we'll do the handlebars in the bathrooms, and our door widths are wide enough anyway. The turnaround spaces are all already factor in ADA considerations.
Mm-hmm.
But on the set, or they may opt for residence 5 or 6, which has a bedroom and a bathroom downstairs. And so once they get to the age where they don't want to go up and down, they can actually live downstairs in their main home, and the guests can live upstairs.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole, and thank you for putting Boulis so I know how to pronounce your last name. I appreciate that. However, now that was for this, which is good, right? Because this obviously you want it to be someone that may not have accessibility issues when you're thinking about building on top of a garage or renting to someone like that. And then the one bedroom or the freestanding ADUs, obviously, if someone has that, they want to put in their home, the detached garage, and then have one in the back. And if there are accessibility issues, that's to look at. That you do have these freestanding and the one bedroom, which obviously
Right.
people would not have to worry about going upstairs or anything like
Right.
that.
Oh, they
Which-
can even do the 2-bedroom freestanding,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
It won't be. Yeah, exactly. So,
Okay.
and then the ADU matches the style of the house.
Oh yeah, that's smart. That's important to say. I'm glad you noted that, because obviously, you don't want to be like, oh, well, I want this ADU looking like whatever, because it would literally be a match to the house and the garage, right? Even
So
though
if you go to the Mediterranean as an example,
the aesthetic would be that way.
right.
That's such a pretty house. It so reminds me of Altadena.
Thank you. And then there you go. That
Very
that
nice.
ADU matches that.
And then let me see the garage one, Brian. Oh, that's a nice one too, freestanding. I don't know. Go back. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Right.
That's nice. That one looks too plain. Like there should be a big window right there next to that door instead of all wall. So go back to the one bedroom. I think that one had a better. Yeah. See. And then it doesn't have windows on the other side. I'm gonna need you to get that together, Devon, and have windows on both sides of that door, okay?
Can you flip to the plan? Actually, go to the floor plan. Oh no, the floor plan of the ADU.
Of the ADU, the Mediterranean.
So go up top ADU.
Up top to the ADU. On the line.
Yep,
there you go.
And then go to the right.
Right arrow.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Right. Because the living rooms. I think this one's turned around. But anyway.
But either way, see, that one had the window on that side, and then go up to the freestanding, Jamal. There you go. And if you look at that one, it had 2 windows on that side, which is great. But right there where it's all wall, me personally, I would need a window. So if I were building this house, even though it's pre-approved, could I get you guys to add another window in? Or I'd have to
that wouldn't be too big a deal.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
You can tell I'm difficult, right? And I'm at
No,
these changes, and I need this.
You
and
don't
I
know
want-
what difficult is, trust me. That's an easy request. If that was the only request I got, I would be fine.
You'd be all right. Okay, so the Foothill Craftsman, we did the Mediterranean and the SoCal traditional, right?
Yeah.
So the Foothill Craftsman, so Altadena,
Yes,
right?
sure.
Altadena and Pasadena, there's
Right.
pockets of craftsmen's all over. So that's really,
Mhm.
really nice looking with the porch. That's a nice size ADU. Oh, I don't like that. It looks like a log cabin and doesn't have that window again. Again, this is me. I'm aesthetically, I know what I'm.
fine.
That's better, but I'd still need windows on the other side. But I like that because it has a pitch roof.
The
It
pitch
looks-
roof.
Yeah, I love the pitch roof.
Yeah, I do too. Now that garage is nice.
Yes.
ADU over the garage, I should say. That's nice.
And then if you go
that's good
to residence type, let's look at residence 3.
Okay. Yeah, I like the
And
residence 3s, I think.
Go to California bungalow. There you go.
Oh, that's long though. That's weird to me.
It's 1750. So it's a 4-bedroom house, right? So it's a long house, but it's got a lot of features people actually like. It's probably our most popular.
Yeah, our most popular. It works really well on the long lots.
Yeah.
Can
Because a
you-
lot of Altadena lots are narrow but
Yeah.
deep.
I'm used to like my parents' lot, which is one of the biggest ones on their street, and it's a double lot that they had. So
When I was living in Pasadena, I actually had a property that was very similar to this. It was long because I had a long parcel. So
Yep.
it fits
Yeah.
perfect for it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was
Can you
100
zoom in on that floor plan, Jamal? I'd like to see the floor plan. Right now we just see the outline. No, zoom in. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
wait, I know he's adjusting and doing all his stuff, but I would love to see it up close.
When I actually zoom in on the screen, the image shrinks.
Shrinks? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when you zoom out, what does that do? Does it do
I'm,
the opposite?
I'm at 90% right now. Now 75. Now I'm at 100, 110, 125.
Oh, okay. So it only
So
goes
the
to 100.
font
Okay.
is getting bigger, but the image is not.
So I would tell people go to the site, take a
I'll
look
take
at
a
it
picture of it.
if you
Right.
want to see more of what it looks like.
And then
Thank you.
download. You can download this stuff as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can have it and blow it up and do whatever you do.
Because all the bedrooms also are on one side. I don't think I like that. But anyway, it's not me. It's not my house. But I love the look of it, and it so fits in with Altadena. So fits in Altadena.
Do you want to know which one I'm building, Toni?
Hold on.
You got to go
back.
to.
I am.
You got to go to the residence 4.
Okay,
in
I
the
was curious,
Mediterranean.
which residents are you doing? And then I'll look at them. Jamal, go to
Residence 4 in the
4.
Mediterranean. That's where we're
Oh,
going.
is that one? That's what you're
Yeah.
doing? I'll look at it in
Yeah.
my book because I have the book right here. That's beautiful. Now out of those, I think I like the SoCal traditional. I'm a little bit more of a modern girl, but I do like the Mediterranean looking, the Spanish
Mhm.
tile houses. So
Mhm.
that's what. Now, is your porch going to be just exactly like that?
Yep.
I think I would want a bigger porch where I could put some furniture. But no, right above it, you have the balcony. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're going to have some great views there.
Yeah. Nice. And then you have the detached. And so what does your floor plan look like? I want to look, I'm going to be nosy looking at your house.
You can come over.
Okay. So all bedrooms are upstairs. Oh, so wait a minute. Where's that patio? On the back? Or that's
Wrap
the front?
around. It wraps around like it makes a little L shape right there.
Oh, so see, I couldn't see that from here. Okay, got it. So that
Mhm.
actually makes it bigger, like I was saying, a bigger porch. So it's a porch patio. So that's nice.
Yeah, that's on the back end. Yeah.
Dining room, kitchen, pantry. Very nice. And then upstairs, your level 2 are all of your bedrooms. But I only see 3 bedrooms. Oh, that is a 3-bedroom. Primary bath, laundry upstairs. Yeah, a lot of people prefer that if they have a 2-story house. Bath. Very nice. Well, congrats, Rebecca, on your.
Thank you.
Have you started your process?
Yes.
Can I?
We just,
Yeah.
you know more than me on the back end.
No. Go ahead.
I was just saying
we've been doing some of our newest renderings.
Uh-huh.
That is more real, like photorealistic. So I was going to show what Rebecca's house would look like in that. So if you'd like, I can show that on the screen.
Yeah, please. Rebecca, are you okay with showing your house?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking.
So down, if you want to bring your screen up and then down
Yep.
at the bottom where you can do your share.
Yep.
Click the plus and screen share and share.
Screen share window.
Because then people can actually see, right? Because obviously when you look at the catalog or you go online, it's what the renderings are already, right?
Can you guys see this rendering?
Not yet.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, it might be coming up. I just don't see it yet.
Do
I
you see it now?
Yes.
There we
Is
go.
that Rebecca's home?
Do you see it, Rebecca?
There's a 10-second delay. I can see it.
I see
Yes,
it.
I can see it.
Okay, great.
That's beautiful. I like that arched door entrance.
With the tile, right?
Yeah, the balcony's a little smaller up top, but I now see the wraparound porch patio. Very nice.
Okay.
So are you excited, Rebecca?
I am very excited. It's going quicker than I assumed it would. I just, we were all talking about pricing and stuff earlier. And when I started to build, everybody was talking about price per square foot. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? What does that entail? So that's what's been the easiest for me is that everything's already thought of. I can still customize it, but everything's already thought of and done because I don't, information overload, like you said.
Right.
And then also everything is just, it's included. So there's not, this is the price per square foot, but then 2 months in, now this, and then 6 months in, now this, and then a year in, now this, like, that's made the whole event just easier for us. So I'm super excited. I can't wait to get in. I've already bought stuff that I want to put on the walls. So I'm a little ahead of myself, but I'm excited.
Okay. Furniture and wall art and whatever.
I
Good.
can't wait.
This is your time to go and start looking and figuring it out. Devon, I do have a question. And I know we're right at an hour. We started a little late, and you guys may have to jump or whatever, but now that I guess you started the process, it was quick permit because it was already pre-approved, and you've just customized a little bit aesthetically or interior or whatever.
Right.
Are you grading the lot and all of that at this point? And
We haven't started construction on any of the homes at this point. We're mostly in pre-construction, which takes about 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay.
But we have submitted a few homes for permits.
so when do you anticipate Rebecca moving in her actual house? And once you break ground and you clear and you start forming, and putting slab down and all of that, how long do you anticipate withstanding inspections? Because we know there's not enough inspectors for all the homes that need to be rebuilt. But what is the timeline? Will it be from, okay, we've now graded and we're breaking ground, it's going to be 6 months, it's going to be 3 to 4 months? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so we're guaranteeing 12 months from once we start construction.
Okay.
The permits in hand probably takes us about a week to mobilize, and then we guarantee 12 months. And if we're a day late, we actually reduce the price for every day late we are.
Oh, well, you can rebuild mine and y'all can be as late as you want to, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But and then if you are earlier, that's just they move in earlier.
Great, moving earlier.
Good. Okay. I don't see any other questions in the chat. If anybody has any, please put them in and we'll pop them on the screen. But this was a great conversation. Rebecca, I want to be there when you break ground. So
Yes.
Email me, call me, whatever.
I will be there.
Are you including? Yeah, I remember, Devon, you already spoke to that, but the question is, are you including soil testing as part of the rebuild? And you spoke to all the prep and all the work that you all do.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And we can always,
it's
send
important.
anybody what it looks like.
Yeah.
Too.
It's, the soil testing is always a good one. It's unfortunate that, we were left holding the bag. And when I say we, not just the homeowner, but even the folks that are building, right? So we're required, not all builders require testing for not just lead, but other toxins.
Right.
So we do a CAM 17 test. And then whatever the results are, then we'll talk to our consultant and our subcontractor to understand what the remediation would be needed. And then we'd oversee that remediation work as well. Look, it's obviously for the benefit of who's going to be living there long term, but we also need to keep in mind that, a lot of people are going to be involved into rebuilding these homes, and we want to keep them protected too.
Safe, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, and you know what? One last thing that I want us to hit on is the hardscaping, the fire resistant design, the Chapter 7A and IBHS compliancy, right?
Right.
Because I am working with some other builders and they're like, when you meet in California, for the most part, standards are a little bit higher than what IBHS
Correct.
has all over the country anyway. But people are able to get this certification once the house is built and they get the certificate of occupancy and get their keys. They get a certification that shows the fire resistancy or the compliance, where this house probably will not burn to the ground in 6 to 8 hours or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then that they're able to take to their insurance company and have reduced insurance costs. I understand that throughout legislation in California.
Potentially, yes.
Yes.
They're working through that.
Through it now to say, look, these rebuilt communities, when they come to you and they have this certification,
Right.
you can't go to $10,000 a year in insurance or whatever, right?
Whatever. the number, yeah.
So in your brochure, it talks about fire resistant design, Chapter 7A and IBHS compliant. Thank you. I was getting ready to ask you to bring it up, Jamal, but you did it. So can you all speak to that before we hang up? Because I love that you've already spoken to our ACH standards for, Altadena and some of the other things, but
Yeah,
specifically.
if you actually scroll down, there's a nice little checklist actually. Scroll down a little bit further. There you go. So all our homes kind of meet the IBHS standards for, whether it's the roof, the gutters, the eaves, the vents, the exterior wall covering, the clearances, the windows, the doors, all those facts. In fact, it's above Chapter 7A requirements. And so the goal was to meet the IBHS base standard. Now, the issue is the IBHS Plus, which is kind of what the insurance companies look at, require that any accessory structure is 30 feet away, which is really problematic in an area like Altadena, right? Because you're going to have structures that are going to be less than 30 feet away.
Got it.
And so they're looking at potentially revising that,
Hopefully.
specifically for kind of urban areas.
Yeah.
That
would make sense. But and especially if that ADU and or garage are also compliant, right? And above that 7A standard, then why would it need to be 30 feet away if would not?
I don't know why. That's what they're going to revisit, right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, they're revisiting that, and then the other thing is, the certification isn't a one-time certification. People need to know that.
Correct.
Right? They have to maintain their lands, because really, once a home's built, it'll meet that standard going forward.
Right.
But it's all about the landscaping, right? And so maintaining the required type landscaping so that the home is not subject to those same threats is going to be required. In order to maintain that certification, I think there's a reinspection every 3 years. Okay.
What are your thoughts on sprinklers? And don't add him yet, you guys. What are your thoughts on sprinklers? My own personal thoughts are, why do we need interior sprinklers when these homes have to have closed off eaves and where fire can't get in? Wouldn't it make more sense to have sprinklers that emit foam or whatever on the roof, right? That could really cancel out a fire before it even got into a home. What are your thoughts on that? Because I know that like some of the requirements for solar is no longer a requirement in California, where in the beginning it was. Having all electrical is no longer a requirement. You can have gas again for, appliances and fireplaces and things, but they're kind of sticking to the sprinkler thing. And I get it, but if a fire gets under the eaves and inside of the house, sprinklers aren't doing much anyway. And it can actually cause more damage that an insurance company would have to pay for. And we see our insurance companies don't want to pay for anything anyway. So what are your, really, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. I mean, I think, there are different means to protecting a home. The fire sprinkler systems, the interior fire sprinkler systems are required by code anyway, but they do serve a purpose. Look, fires can impact a home in many different ways. We've got severely high winds, as you know. You have debris flying through. So even if you provide that protection on the roof, right, it may not protect the house if, for instance, there was a penetration of fire into the home through other debris and whatnot. So, I think the standard has always been to do it in the house, but I think nowadays people are looking at, are there other means to additionally protect that other things were combustible? Now, a lot of things are non-combustible to start with, so they should, like a lot of the homes had wood siding and, old roofs that weren't maintained and debris on those roofs and gutters and foundations. Our patios are all concrete. We don't do wood patios for that reason. Is we don't want them to burn.
I have never seen a wood patio, but
I mean the structure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I'm excited about today. I'm excited that both of you came on. I look forward, Rebecca, to being there on your groundbreaking. Devon.
My groundbreaking, and also when I have my housewarming.
Yeah, for sure. You'll be like, Toni, come through. I'm gonna be like, I'm on my way, girl. But Devon, I hopefully will meet you and others one day, and I look forward to even bringing you back on, because one thing that I try to do is not only when we talk in the beginning, but as the groundbreaking start, we like to go out, take film, take photos, and then talk about it on the show. And we want to bring people back on throughout the
Great.
process, including the builders. So we will bring you on. I also want to know when you have that attached garage model available.
Okay.
And no, seriously, because people are probably going to ask
I'm
that,
serious.
right?
We're serious too about getting.
Yeah. So when you do, let me know. We'll bring it back on. You can, get the information to the people, and that might be something that someone is waiting for as well. So I definitely look forward to that and working with you all in the future. And I think that I know some people that want to go back the same way with their detached garage, that I'm going to say, hey, you might want to talk to Genesis Builders. So yeah, and with the pre-approved, I think that is so important because that cuts a lot of the time out. The
one thing, Toni, I do want to point out, and I appreciate what Collective has done, Foothill has done.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes we're talked about in the same dialogue. The biggest difference between us and them, besides anyone's opinion of the homes, is we're actually building the home.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, theirs are just the plans. You get them from them, and then you got to find a builder. That's true.
You have to pay for the plans.
Right. I'm glad you said that, because that is very important that people know. I've always said one-stop shops where you can go in, work with people, customize from the ground up. But this is an alternative to a one-stop shop, meaning you are a one-stop shop with the exception of you're not starting from the ground up saying, what do you like? What do you want to see? And you design it then. These are already plans that people that are pre-approved that people can look at, may love, and say yes, but then all the rest is the one-stop shop part, right? Because of the soil testing, the grading, the building it, and all of that.
That's right.
So, yeah.
You work with the same group of people the whole entire time, which is great. You see us from start to when we walk into your home for the first time together.
Yeah, that's very important. So what I want to do is make sure that if somebody wants to get in touch with you, that they know GenesisBuildersLA.com is the website. And on that website, you can look at everything, all the plans. And then from the website, you can do the contact form, and it goes directly to Rebecca, and she will reach out, or did. I don't know if it's still all going to you, but either way,
yes,
it goes to you, and they will reach out within 24, 48 hours or whatever, and start that conversation. Also, thank you for that information. The info at GenesisBuildersLA.com is there, and then the phone number. But if they just do GenesisBuildersLA.com, go directly to the website, they can see everything. That's www.genesis.builders or .genesisbuildersla.com. And I'm excited about the people that maybe you reached today or that asked me, and I say, hey, contact them as well, because these I really, really, really like. Not that I don't like the others. Again, the Hill Collection wasn't for me. I looked at those, I was like, Jane's Cottages, not for me, because I don't want a Jane's Cottage, but there are pockets of Altadena that were strictly Jane's Cottages, and people want that same design back. So Altadena Collective, because one of them who's on that lost their house, there was a Jane's Cottage. That is the way to go if you had one and you want one, right? But if not, and you're not sure, or you want a little bit more modern or Mediterranean or craftsman or traditional, I would tell people connect with you in a heartbeat, because these plans are really nice. They're pre-approved, and it could save some time. And in a year, this time next year or Christmas time next year, they might be celebrating being back in the
holidays.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Well, thank you both for coming on today.
Well, thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Look forward to bringing you back on in the future, and let's see where I do have a question for you, Devon. Is that your actual house you're sitting in?
It's actually my garage. I converted it into an office.
Shut the front door. I've been looking at it the whole time. Like, is this a background, or is this like really the tray ceilings, the nook on the wall? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I've been looking at it the whole time saying, I got to ask him that. And you designed it?
I did, yes.
Man, that's pretty dope. That is like dope. That's fine. Okay, thank you for answering that question, which had nothing to do with the rest of the show. But I kept seeing it, and I was like, I wonder if that's really his house, or is that one of these Zoom backgrounds or something?
No, it's a real background.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I like it.
Appreciate that.
All right. Well, thanks so much, you two. And
right.
I'm going to bring somebody else in a minute that's talking about something else, and we're going to do all of our announcements, but you all are free to pop off and watch or not. But thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you for having us. It was great.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to remove them from the stage, and I have another guest that I'm bringing on, and this was quick last minute, right before you guys get a 2-for-1 today. Right before our announcements, I am bringing on Mr. James Farr. He is a host of KBLA 1580 Radio. He called me this morning because we have a panel this evening that I will be on at Victory Park, and he wanted to just give a quick update a little bit about it. And so, Brandon, Jamal, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you guys because we spoke right before the show started. And I sent him the link. Yeah, I sent him the link, but I know you saw when he popped in.
I don't appreciate that.
I don't care. No. I don't care. But
who's this guy again?
Right.
Is that Fame's jar? Is that what it is?
Right. Only your people gonna harass you, James. So,
I ain't scared.
Right. Hello.
What?
Thank you for coming on.
Thank
popping
you.
in. Thank you all for watching Genesis Builders, but then we're going to transition real quick to James and I speaking about the panel tonight and about this whole shenanigan fest from SCE. That's what I would call it. Nice.
Man, absolutely.
Give us a quick update of what's happening with our panel tonight and SCE pulling out, and there's been a lot of moving parts this week with them.
It has been a lot of moving parts. What Toni is referring to, first of all, good morning, Brian. Good morning, Jamal. What a rich
Altadena Talks community that are watching.
Good morning, James.
Talks community. What a rich conversation you have in the earlier segment with the architect and designers.
Genesis Builders. Thank you.
Yeah, so big shout out to y'all because the lift that y'all do every day, right? I'm a part of the Altadena Talks community as well. So I just want to make sure that I acknowledge that I appreciate how y'all show up every day with
James.
Great information, rich information. That being said, tonight, KBLA Talk 1580 is hosting a town hall meeting at Victory Bible Church from 4 to 6 p.m. It will simulcast live on the radio at 1580 if you're in your car, or you could catch it on YouTube at KBLA 1580. It's available if folks can't make it. It's a curated panel of community members, Toni being one of them, that will be participating in this panel. In the last almost 72 hours, this went from a firm understanding that we were hosting this town hall. We had extended an invitation to Southern California Edison executives. They confirmed their participation in writing. And Monday, while we had been waiting for nearly 2 weeks for them to forward names of who was coming to the town hall, they totally flipped the script and said that they would not be participating because there were attorneys that they believe were going to be on the panel. That's important because 3 weeks ago, there were. We took attorneys off of the panel. Our attorney, the law firm that sponsors my show, not this town hall, but we're a sponsor of that, Quinn Emanuel, they were the ones that actually flagged this, that there may be a potential conflict, and we don't want to be an inhibitor to bring in Edison into the community. So they fell back several weeks ago. It's only Monday when we learned from Kathleen Dunleavy, the external affairs communications director for Edison, that she called and began to construct a reason based upon what we had already agreed to, that they wouldn't be participating. And furthermore, it devolved into her saying that her concern was that, members of the community, and this would turn into a Jerry Springer type event, show, or whatever you would want to call it. And so what is obvious through this entire process is that Edison is being intellectually dishonest. They have no intention to sit with the community, the Black community specifically, which has been our charge from day one. We are singular and focused in centering Black voices, although we are here for everyone, right? But our mission was to make sure we centered that part of the story, and we've done so as one of the only stations in the nation that has continuous coverage on the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire on my program, Conversation Live, Altadena Rising. All that to say, we are tonight. The event is not canceled. It was never Edison's event to cancel. In fact, there'll be a chair sitting there, since Edison says they will participate if there are no attorneys there on the panel. So I'm telling your network of people, and Edison pays attention to what you're doing. We've said it in writing several times. We've said it in the media. We've said it on air. We've said it. We're saying it, and I'm going to say it again. There are no attorneys participating on this panel that are plaintiffs' attorneys.
Edison watches our show?
What's that?
Edison watches our show?
They listen.
Anyway, go ahead. Edison, if you're watching at any time.
When you're doing good work, Tony.
Edison, if you're watching, I was a renter and I need $450,000. That would be my settlement.
Brian, that's exactly what not exactly, but that was the important part of bringing Edison into the community, because what they did last night was a Zoom type presentation that they announced in the last day or so. It kind of seems like they announced it after they pulled out of the town hall meeting. They've only had meetings, and now they will keep saying we're having meetings, and if you'd like to have us to have a meeting, we're open to doing that. But what it appears that they are doing is they only want to be in spaces where they can control the narrative. They are disinterested in hearing hard questions. It continues to be tone deaf that you agreed in writing, as Kathleen Dunleavy said on Spectrum News this morning. We had an agreement with the station. She said it 2 days ago.
Then what's the problem, Edison?
Because
you are now in breach of the agreement. You are now not doing it, and this is really bad. I don't want to say publicity, bad faith, because we know, again, two populations in Altadena that are being overlooked. Those over 60, which is 57% of Altadena, and the Black and Brown communities in Altadena. And we already know the history of Altadena and the fact that so many African-American, Latino, and Asian, Japanese specifically, had to move to Altadena because of the redlining in Pasadena. And those are primarily on the west side. There's many on the east side, east of Fair Oaks, but primarily on the west side. So if you already know that, and one thing that I've seen and I don't like, there are a lot of organizations in Altadena that have popped up since the fire. I'm grateful for that, because had the fire not happened, maybe not so much emphasis, right? But I'm seeing a lot of division racially, and I don't like that, because Altadena is a very eclectic and diverse community. And what we don't need is there to be division in meetings. We have meetings, and sometimes we don't hear about them. we do announcements here every single day of the week. We get stuff from Diane Palais, who watches. She sends me lots of stuff. Brandon Jamal have people text them or email us. And then Jamal follows a lot of organizations. And when they do something, they will, they'll send him something, or he sees it when they post it, and then he talks about it.
Mhm.
But then there are times that people have meetings and they don't reach out. They don't let us know. I literally sent, I'm having that luncheon at Loma Alta Park on the 22nd of this month for the community. I sent stuff to the town council. I sent stuff to the Rotary Club. I sent stuff to the Chamber of Commerce. I sent stuff to Lena Kennedy. I sent stuff to people and said, please disseminate this. The Eaton Fire Survivors Network, please disseminate this. I closed it on Saturday because I needed to know my count so I could buy stuff. We have 60 or 61 families, 224 people registered. We were going to do up to 1,000 people, but nothing got disseminated.
Mhm.
And that's on them, right? But the fact is, if you are having something, we have this platform. We hit anywhere from 30 to 80,000 people a month, depending on what's going on. So if we have this platform and you are having something and you're really about community, which is diverse and eclectic, send it so we can advertise it. We're finding that we see over and over, oh, the white folks had this, and we found out about it after the fact. Oh, somebody had this, and that's not cool. If we're going to come back as a community, let's come back as a community and quit having the division, and then quit having it where then the Black people and the brown people have to have meetings because you left us out in the beginning.
Well, I think it's important to again acknowledge that we see each other, right? First and foremost. Now, we're very forward facing on what our mission and brand is at KBLA 1580. We are unapologetically Black, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that we're exclusive, but we center that first. So, I see you. I know the work that you're doing. But it is a challenge all the way across the board as people move in their own silos and circles, and so the societal things and the structural inequities that you're speaking of existed prior to January 7th, and been a long fight even going forward after January 7th. But we just keep doing what we do because blue, black, green, and whatever, this government has shown everybody you on your own.
Right.
You on your own, right? So we have to keep us safe. We have to protect us. We have to love us. Our North Star for doing this, Sister Toni, Brian, and Jamal, was what's our offering? How can we help?
Right.
While you guys are doing the best job imaginable with announcements every day, as well as the subject experts and community members. That's your offering. That's your role in this space. We had a different position that I could touch Edison. And I did.
Yeah.
And I touched him. And we see where we are now. That was not the intention. This is certainly not a desired outcome. But my North Star, our North Star at the station was, as we go on this journey as a community, at some point, they're going to have to sit and get the smoke from the community.
Yep.
And Mr. Pizarro, you make $12 million, and I don't care if you made $112 million a year. I don't care if you make $12 an hour. You have an obligation and a responsibility to this community and your shareholders.
That's right.
And your shareholders. Think about how many of our pensions are caught up in utility companies.
Yep.
This goes so much further and deeper than the corporate spin and, quite honestly, lying that they are doing about something they agreed to participate.
Right.
We didn't force them. We can't if we can't ask them to show up and honor their word that they committed to, how can you expect that we force them to do anything? But what we are going to do is gather at Victory Bible Church today at 4 p.m. I'm encouraging people to register at KBLA 1580. I understand there's still room. I don't think that people will be turned away. It is more of a capacity issue and less of a, we don't want you here versus we don't want their capacity is capacity. And we don't do this for the vanity or ego of how many people come. It's an opportunity that's open to everyone to come. We just kind of want to put some idea of how many people are coming, so we're prepared and planned out properly. So thank you for you all for allowing me just a little bit of time to just update the community and the Altadena Talks community, which I am. Y'all, I want a T-shirt that say Altadena Talkie or something, right? Like I need some merch, right?
Yes. No, thank you so much, James, for even calling me this morning so that we could discuss it and you say, hey, can I get a couple minutes? Absolutely, because we're all interconnected. I go to Victory, right? Mm-hmm. Pastor John is my pastor. He's been on here. We had our town hall there March 8th to get people to understand the process because nobody knew at all what to do when it came to rebuilds, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't want people to wait until now, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted them early to start at least thinking about this is what the process looks like. This is what permitting looks like. This is, kind of what you would do. And we are some people that might be able to help you, right? So they could at least hear and maybe connect with people. But that was March. So now more people are like, okay, I'm a little bit settled with where I live. I'm ready to rebuild. And they're doing that. And so I'm happy, right? And so we're interconnected. And then you were at the Juneteenth event up at Loma Alta Park. We're doing something there later this month. You're on KBLA radio. You've had a couple of events yourself at Jackie Robinson, and then you're trying to do this. And so, yes, Edison has had some other events in the community or on Zoom, but come and talk to people and hear people. That's why at the event on the 22nd that I'm throwing that lunch in, I do have some sponsors that are builders that I have one attorney, I think, but some other people. And I told them, I said, I don't want you as a sponsor showing up only at a table. At first, that's what I was going to do. And then it changed for me about a week and a half ago. I want you to come and you sit and participate in this. Sit next to the families, amongst the families, because I want you to hear from the families. Sure. Right? Sure. If you're an attorney, if you're a builder or whatever. So you really are ingratiated with the community. You are in there, not just I'm coming to make money. I can represent you as an attorney. I can build your house and make money. No, you need to get to talk to and hear the stories of the people, right? Right. Again, I wasn't renting or didn't live in the house when the fire happened. My parents' home that my daughter had been living in with them for a year and a half or whatever burned. My sister's is gone. They're displaced. But all my whole life, other than that, my elementary school, Loma Alta, is gone. I think by Audubon, there might have been some scorching stuff or whatever, because it was over in that area. There was smoke damage. But Elliott, like everything I know, the park I grew up at, around the corner from my house at Farnsworth, like all that stuff is gone, right? And so it impacts so many people and in a way that we're never going to forget about it, right? And so how do you as a company, a utility like Edison, that it's very clear it was their fault, that tower should have been down when I was 6 years old in 1971. How do you now, when the community is saying, come sit with us, listen to us, right? Because you've had a few of these, this is our rollout of our plan. You listen to people, you made a couple changes. I have the document that's been redlined through and all that. You made a couple changes and this is the final plan. Boom, it's out there. You haven't even listened to everybody. Yeah. Right. How do you now come and in writing say, yes, we're going to be there, and then come later and say, yeah, no, we're not? That is so shady. And Edison owes the people of Altadena to come and sit and listen. They do. And go back to the drawing board. And even if they don't go back to the drawing board, we want to not only for you to listen, we want you to explain this to us. and then hear what people say, like O'Brien and many others that I know that are renters, and the renters basically are going to be given 50 grand. I know people that have been renting 20 years in Altadena and more, 10 plus years and more. And you say the value of everything they lost is $50,000. The structure wasn't theirs, so the owner of that gets all of the money, but then they mean nothing. Their children mean nothing. I think it might have gone to 75,000 now for renters. But either way, like Brian said, he was renting. He was in a home living there, and he lost all his equipment. He's in tech and had photography and all of this stuff. His stuff alone might have been that worth the 50,000,
Sure.
but that doesn't impact how many years he rented, the mental, the PTSD, the grieving. So for them to not want to address that and not want to hear and not want to compensate people is atrocious, it's egregious, and it's shameful.
Well, so what they're counting on, and that's why it's so important, Toni, Brian, and Jamal, is to understand the what they are offering and presenting, right? You know, for some people, it may be the best option, right? For others, it may be not the best option, and they choose litigation. But everything about how they are handling this, you know, I'm not a lawyer and I ain't passed the bar, but I know a little bit. Anytime someone is quick to settle or offer a settle, and again, the language that they use, right? Like I have a front row seat to watching PR people craft lies and make it sound good. So everything that they are saying and doing is intentional, and it is designed. What they are now pushing, what they want to do is try to get a payment out before Christmas to somebody. Truth is, it will take at best minimum about 4 to 5 months for that to actually happen for most people. Right? And so they're gonna drum up the choir and tell this narrative about people that they're helping. And again, it's not for me to say that they are helping those people or not. Those are individual decisions. We just kind of help people understand. We have Andrew Wessels. We've added him to the panel, who co-authored the Fix What You Broke report on Southern California Edison out of the Eden Canyon Survivors Network, right? You know what I mean? So when you talk about inclusiveness, right? We are all in this together, right?
Yes.
And Andrew's not Black, right? But Andrew's welcome. Pedro's not Black, Pizarro, but he's welcome. Everyone is welcome to participate in this town hall. If you're uncomfortable with Blackness being centered or being in the room with that, listen on the radio. But it's not going to change how we approach this, because if we don't do this, I'll wait for somebody else to do it and invite you to it. So that's what we're doing. I appreciate, again, you guys so much. And y'all give Mr. Pizarro a little bit of grace, because I imagine it must be a heavy toll to sit with the legacy on his CV that under his watch, over 25,000 people were burned out of a community.
Right. And you don't want to do what's right, because I'm gonna tell you.
Pray for him. That's all. That's all I got for. Ain't nobody gonna harm y'all.
No, not at all. But the reference to Jerry Springer really upsets me, because this is a corporate white woman telling Black individuals, African Americans, that they're not going to come into our community to a panel with Black people on, right? Well-educated, well-spoken, all of that, and refer to it by saying, oh, this might turn into a Jerry Springer event. How dare you? That in itself is a racist statement, a racist reference. And how dare you even say anything like that? Show your butt up. Get your execs there. You still got a few hours, because I'm going to leave my house to be there hopefully around 3-ish, 3:30, because we're going to start on time at 4. And trust me, at Victory, we're going to start and end at time. Pastor John plays no game.
Even more importantly than that, because this is live on the radio.
Yes. Yes.
start on time like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you cut your dial on when you cut it on. We gonna be on, right?
Exactly. But for you to have the audacity, and Edison, if you are listening or watching, Victory Bible Church's address is 1497 North Hill in Pasadena, California. We're just north of Washington on the west side of the street. We're right below Howard. So
Yeah,
I would encourage.
They called Pastor John and tried to squeeze him
This week?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the wrong person to try to call for that.
Well, you know, the truth is the truth.
Right.
What do you mean they tried to squeeze him?
That's the story to tell.
No, I mean, okay.
Yeah, give us the skinny.
We'll do that off here. But
So
the fact is,
what they're doing. But let me answer it this way, Jamal. What they are in is in crisis mode right now, and so they were calling everyone else, but me, but Tavis, right? They were putting on their website right now. They wrote, "We put out inaccurate information." So now it's an assault on our integrity, as if we did something nefarious, sleight of hand. No.
But wait, you have the email, right? That they did in writing saying that they would be there?
Tony, yes, we have all of the emails.
Exactly.
Let me
how did you all do anything nefarious? Oh, that's like a lawsuit coming, Edison. Anyway, Edison, if you're watching, show up tonight. If you have the balls, sorry, I shouldn't say that. But if you have it in you, show up tonight and listen to the people.
No, that's a perfect analogy, Tony. And I'm going to tell you why. They can have one ball or two balls, but the ball is in their court, right?
True.
We're going to be there. So if they do have balls, come show them.
That's right.
Gonna be there. That's all. Ain't nobody going to harm you.
No, we don't need to see your balls. Just show up.
So someone I know that does have a lawyer and they're kind of involved with this Edison thing indicated or shared a video with me from the Consumer Watchdog group, which is a nonprofit organization that protects consumers' rights by monitoring businesses and advocating for regulations to prevent unfair practices and protect consumer interests. Have you seen that at all?
I have not. Please share it with me.
Okay, I can either share it with you or I can play it. What do you think? It's 2 minutes. It wouldn't necessarily. Okay. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. It's a YouTube video. Okay. And I'm curious to know, what you think about that. Okay. But most people who do have some legal representation are being told to be very apprehensive about this program. Ask tons and tons and tons and tons of questions and have this reviewed by your lawyer. Don't just jump into it. Whether you're a renter or not, is designed primarily for folks who need money quickly. Yeah. And they're trying to jump into that and get some folks off the books that could potentially harm them or reach back out to hold them accountable in the future.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me is I found out, I think last night on one of the Beautiful Altadena pages or whatever, is that somebody went on to try to do it. They have a lawyer, but they're not doing anything. And they got stuck in the process because Edison asked on there somewhere, do you have an attorney? And I think they checked yes. And they said, your attorney has to fill it out and submit the claim. So also, if you're trying to do a quick pay or somebody wants to see if they qualify, now you're making it where they can't. If they say they have an attorney and their attorney has to do it because they don't want to deal with you unless you have one. So again,
what it does is again, I am not a lawyer and nor am I offering legal advice.
Legal advice, right? Thank you for your disclaimer.
For the attorneys that I have spoken to who are very familiar with this and this process, what they are telling me is this is a way of showing your hand.
Right.
First.
So don't do it.
Right.
Because
Because remember, I think he was saying, got stuck.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very
it's gonna be very interesting
conversation tonight.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. Look, when I answered the phone this morning, I said, "Hey, good morning, James. How you doing?" He said, "Good, Tony." He said, leave your knives at home." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, and when he called me yesterday, he said, "I've been doing this radio stuff for a while and all that, and I have never gotten in trouble until people knew I was linked up with you." I was like, "Stop it, stop it." Right? He said, "I ain't gonna say nothing about your pistols, but leave your knives at home tonight." I was like, I'm not doing any of that. But the fact is, it looks like he may not come back. He might be frozen, but I'm thankful that James did come on. I'm thankful that he brought up what is happening with Edison currently. Mm-hmm. And if you would like to be in the house tonight, come to Victory Bible Church. If you know someone that needs a ride because they would like to be there and it's at an awkward time, go pick them up. If it's someone elderly or anyone else, pick them up and bring them up to Victory. Because we would like to have everyone that we can show up and represent the community and have good dialogue. And it will be live on the radio on KBLA 1580. So even if Edison
and YouTube too
doesn't have the courage to come in person, I'm quite sure they're going to be listening to it.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, to see it's no Jerry Springer.
It's not. Yeah, that's such an insult. Like, because it's all black people at this black church, it's going to be a Jerry Springer event. How dare
that's
you?
why they're going to start throwing chairs.
Yeah, like, how dare you? That's such a racist insult to even suggest that. And he said that when he talked to her the other day on the phone, because he called me yesterday, he said she said it at least two or three times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. It's like, girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere.
It's quite intentional.
Our neighborhood is ghetto.
I wish he had it recorded, because then that could go straight to Pedro and she might be out of a job today. But I would love for her to show up, and Pedro or whoever else that's an executive. If you have the courage, I'll say it that way. If you have the courage to really hear from a demographic of people that have traditionally been left out of what's right in this nation, but in our community, show up today at 4 p.m. Because I'll be there. I'm on the second panel.
Be square.
Yeah, I'm on the second panel, and James is moderating that one. So I said, well, at least that's good. It won't be some moderator I don't know that might ask me something crazy and my eye gets to twitching like, what? No. Just kidding. Don't want people to take that and go, see, it is going to be a Jerry Springer event. No, it's not. Anywho, I know we've been on, an hour and a half? Oh, an hour and 47 minutes. Do we want to do a couple little announcements?
Yeah, I'm going to still do
a few just for the next day or two.
Let me see. Which one is this today? Okay, yeah, I'm going to do a few. Here we go. Yeah. Where is it over here? All right, cool. So I'm gonna start with the Altadena Library District, presenting the LA County of Department of Mental Health, providing the mental wellness workshops for older adults. It's over, so my bad. It was today from 11 to 6. I did mention it yesterday. It was for Holiday Blues. The next one will be the 4th of December. Discussing Discover Your Passion will be at the Bob Lucas Library at 2659 Lincoln Avenue in Altadena. It's no problem. Let me remove the banner real quick and then go large. Here we go.
Hey, Brandon.
Then we also have the LA Strong Night, supporting those impacted by the LA fires. They're free tickets to the UCLA versus Pepperdine basketball game. It is Friday, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. at Poly Pavilion, which is the campus of UCLA. To get your tickets, you can go to tinyurl.com/43ERN34E. And then, as we had just mentioned and had the nice conversation, KBLA Talk 1580 is providing Altadena Town Hall meeting. Subject matter of understanding the Wildfire Recovery Compensation Fund is to inform residents about Southern California Edison's newly launched wildfire recovery compensation program and provide clarity on eligibility and the claims process. It is tonight, November 6th, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Victory Bible Church, which is at 1497 North Hill Avenue in Pasadena. It is a free event. They do ask you, though, to register at kbla1580.com. If you are unable to attend, it is going to be broadcast live on 1580, as well as their YouTube page at 1580, KBLA 1580. This is going to be really interesting for us to talk about, or for folks to talk about tomorrow. I'm very curious to know how it goes, but definitely attend either online or in person. Got to hear what's being said here. Then on Saturday, we have the Dina Relief Drive, Pasadena Church, 425 Sierra Madre Villa Avenue in Pasadena from 11 to 4. If you're interested in volunteering, please scan the QR code. We have free yoga Saturday from beginning at 9:15. Doors open at 9, though. It's at the Paseo Outdoor Mall, 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 151 in Pasadena. To RSVP, go to bit.ly/D as in Dina, H as in heels, -yoga. Art therapy is back. It is Saturday from 1 to 4. It's going to be at 2588 East Colorado Boulevard in Pasadena. They're asking that you join for an afternoon of fun, creativity, and relaxation. To register, please scan the QR code. And it is going to be catering to folks who are 18 years and older, as well as those Dina residents who have been affected by the fire. There's a virtual workshop also Saturday, 10 to 12. It's LA County's new buildings plan self-certification program. You can scan the QR code to attend. It is virtual, but definitely need to scan the QR code to actually get the Zoom link. And then the Brotherhood Crusade is having a Thanksgiving grab and go. It is a drive-through. It will be at Loma Alta Park, 3330 North Lincoln Avenue. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's in partnership with the LA Dodgers Foundation, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, AHF, Catherine Kirker, Children's Health Fund, and McDonald's owners and operators. The baskets will contain a whole turkey with all the trimmings, vegetables, cornbread, dressing, cake mix, frosting, fresh fruit, eggs, milk, and much more. And there will be gift cards to the first 500 people who come. So come early.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
If you want additional information, you can send an email to swilliams@brotherhoodcrusade.org. And then there's also going to be a conference, Rising Phoenix Wellness Conference, also on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2:30. It will be at the Harambe Center at 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena. You should expect emotional relief and stress reduction, shared healing experiences, community networking, local mental health resources, long-term healing tools, and much more. They are asking that you scan the QR code to register, or you can go to liveabovethehype.org. And then lastly, on Sunday, there's an Altadena resource fair. It's going to be subject matter, or the theme is Rebuilding Together, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Loma Alta Park Gym. This is going to be vetted, no pressure contractors, free food and drinks, family-friendly activities, nonprofit booths, invaluable rebuild information. This is the brief announcements for today. I bring Toni and Brian back on. Toni, powerful show. I really liked the Genesis builders. They each builder we have has their own unique characteristics and things that I like. I really the part that I like the most about them is similar to what you had mentioned. They do have those pre-approved designs, and they are a little more aesthetically pleasing than some others that we've seen. As is our intention, we're giving people options, and we're giving them very viable options to select the builder for the rebuilding process. And I think this is a valuable presentation that you did, a meeting that you had, an interview, and then we had James Farr on. That was pretty powerful to get some insight directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak, in terms of the folks at SCE are trying to claim we're doing some not so good things when in fact they were the ones that were not faithful to their contract. So I'm really curious to see how it goes today. I'm probably going to be listening on the radio or online, but I did register. But I'm definitely hear what's going down. Thank you.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I hope it turns out to be well attended, and that the conversation is really good, robust conversation, because that's what's important, and that people are heard.
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be too bad if the subject, the people who are at the center of this, of the town hall, or the reason for the town hall, will not be there to, maybe defend themselves or perhaps explain themselves. But maybe this, if they don't attend today, maybe it'll open up the door for another meeting.
It's almost like they're like, okay, we have the compensation plan, now get over it, move on, right? And it can't be, because for a lot of people, even homeowners, the compensation plan is not going to address cost in the future for undergrounding, right? Undergrounding, they're now trying to do throughout all of Altadena, which we've talked about a million times. However, they want to pass that on to each homeowner, and it's going to be $30,000 per house on top of having to rebuild. And you're not even saying we're going to add that into your compensation, right? So we burn you down, and we want you to take a little bit of chump change, and then we're going to raise rates, and we're going to do undergrounding. Although one thing I hope Altadena does is everybody says no, because in order for them to run underground wires, the entire block has to agree to it. And if one person on that block says no, because I can't afford it, they've said it's going to be about $10,000. And the county's assessment is no, it's going to be more like 30, right? That's just like people that want to turn Altadena into a city and don't understand that if you do that, then you're going to lose 6 feet of your property, because from where the street ends, the 6 feet in now becomes a right of way of the county, and they have to put sidewalks in, right? When you become a city. So you're going to lose 6 feet of your property, not that the county going to pay for it, right? Or the city, but you will lose that. And so people have ideas and don't know the facts of what their ideas are, that can mess things up. And then with this Edison thing, don't just go signing something if you don't know the facts. And if you're a homeowner and think, oh, I'll get this quick money and I'll rebuild, right? Because I was underinsured. No, because then when they come to grounding, if everybody on your block, including you, agrees, that's 30 grand. You're not getting that back from Edison. They're raising rates already. You're not getting that. So many things. And then again, what if your builder does a little bit more excavation and tests some soil and goes down, but later there's some toxics that nobody knew about, and you have some kind of disease? You can't go back to Edison and get compensated for that.
Not if you take this money they're giving out.
Those rights away. So none of us are attorneys and could give the legal advice other than go see an attorney and talk to them and know what's going to be best for you. Don't just take a quick settlement because, oh, I need this money to either rent somewhere else, rebuild, or whatever. But you're not thinking about all the things that you may forfeit in this. And that's why we're inviting Edison continuously to come out in the community and talk. Don't just think because you had a couple of them on Zoom and a couple of them in person that's enough, because it's not. If people request for the next year,
talk.
Right. If people request for the next year or two for Edison to come out, they need to have their tails in the community listening or talking to people. You got that picture, B? Oh, no, he's back.
Now I was looking at something over here.
Yeah.
I froze again, but I'm going to have to get out of here, guys. Great show, Toni.
Thank you.
Great show, Genesis Builders and James Farr. Absolutely. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday. Take care.
You as well. Everybody toodles.
Peace.